Anything at all. In terms of implementing, you say, okay, how do I going to implement this in a way? Anyone got anything you want to check in with me? Yes. Yes, please.
I'm here because my son.
Okay. Oh, you got college, is it? Oh.
Maybe wondering I'm not teaching.
Sure, no worries.
When I go to the school, there's a lot of foreign teachers and teaching.
Yep.
There's so much, no opportunity for the students to actually teach well. When I go to secondary school, that's my nieces and nephews, it's the same thing. When it comes to community, they come out often, swear for and they see it, when they get it, they often have anxiety. How do you expect this to for the good year of living? They have not been. I think the economy decide which direction they should be moving.
Okay.
And now you said that you have to think.
Okay.
You have to stop.
Okay.
You have to come up with, and then you have to reevaluate it. So, it's like you tie your hands on your leg for so long.
And then you suddenly free
go.
them.
I think the amputation or the variance
Set in quite a while, yeah? Okay, make sure everyone hear the question. I kind of paraphrase a little bit. So the question is basically, in our educational system, the kids are basically asked to do academic work. This is just do, right? But when they go to tertiary, they are expected not to just do, but they require a lot of thinking. So what the question is, then with habits already formed for 10 years of just do, now you want them to start to do this. How do you go about doing it? Maybe first we should ask the teacher first. Do you all start to do things like this in the school? Meaning, instead of just asking the student to focus on academic things, are the school doing a lot more of getting them involved in stuff like this? Yeah, he's standing up, he's ready to talk. Just pretend you are ready.
Just trying to listen to us. Actually, the most important lesson in any school is the PE.
Hey, PE department people!
Because the way we go about doing PE, we call it games concept at work, is about thinking about a game. It's about thinking about strategies to achieve certain goals. So in one sense, we are doing, but in all the other subjects, I think there is a change, there is a change in mindset of not going to be dichotomy, but more of project work, collaborative learning, authentic learning. I think from there you'll be able to see cognitive skills improving. There is a change.
There is a change. Yes. Sorry.
Elementary school, we have to look at that work and
You see?
So the news is happening, but MOE is like a very big ship, right? For them to make a one complete turn for things all to, it's going to take a while. With your kids. Okay.
You are receiving the current product of business engaged. How do you take the first step to get them engaged? My question.
Okay. So how to get them engaged? Yeah.
It looks simple in picture, because you and I, we are very engaged in our work. If we don't, then we will be succeed. But they have not been engaged for the last 10 years.
In a way.
How do you take the first step with them to even say, okay, let's think, get the concept, the business that we put in?
Okay. Yes.
The first thing you will do is book yourself a space in our people. Because you will be here every day.
Okay. Okay. So the question is actually engagement. How do you go about engaging? That will be a separate workshop, right? Because it's a big field of work itself in terms just to talk about engagement. Like I do 2-day workshop on engagement. How do you get to engage students to come in to do things? One of the best engagement I know of is play. Like if you have came in, sat down, I put on my PowerPoint for first 30 minutes, it's not going to happen. Right? So one of the things, what I also encourage your parents to do is let your kids play, let them go out and play, let them interact with the environment. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, let's say I have planned to use these strategies. My son may come to me and say, Dad, I'm choosing a secondary school. What should I do? I'll say, okay, great. What are the questions you need to ask? What are the information you need to get? So I literally run through this step with my son. My son is actually looking for secondary school now. That's exactly what I'm doing. I said, okay, do you have the information? So he went to check the book, he highlighted. I said, okay, so what are the things that you want to see in the school that will attract you to the school? So I literally run this strategy with my son. So I'm at this phase now. We're supposed to meet this Sunday. We have 5 schools he selected. We're going to sit down and going to evaluate it. Yeah, then I will ask them, okay, so if this is what you want, you need to fill in the form, right? Fill in the form. And then once you get the school you want, you got to look back, see whether, okay, what happened in the way you do things. So these strategies, right, is actually implemented in a day-to-day thing. But we use game as a formal, structured way of imparting this business. Make sense? Yeah, give you another example. We have another strategy called ABCD. Let me explain the concept. ABCDE. A ask question, B brainstorm, C compare, D do, E evaluate. So it's very similar to this. But we taught this to assumption pathway students because most of them are P6s dropout. So they are dreaming up an evaluation are not that strong. But for 5 days, 4 nights, everything is ABCD. ABCD. When we're going to start field cooking, we say, alright, A, what do you want to know? They ask question, then we say, okay, what are the food you want to cook? We have chicken, we have vegetable, we got chicken stock, blah, 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 what do you want to cook? So we literally run this strategy to them every day. By the 3rd day, right, what we did was we just say, okay, this is the problem you need to do. And we step back and watch. And you can see the kids actually run the strategy. So remember my previous slides, I talked about making it a habit for them. Yeah, so it can be done, but it takes time. Alright, when I work with school, the challenge I have is the school always give me very little time and they want to achieve a lot of things. Yeah, so sometimes I have to tell the school, if you really want the kids to really learn something useful, you may need to drop some objective and focus on certain things. Because all these are actually a form of habit system. You need to build, you need to repeat, you need to reiterate to the point where it becomes part of you. Yeah, so actually you can do every day. Okay, I hope I answered the question. Okay, thank you. Yes, anyone got anything like that?
The thing about my son is after 10 years of
Habits. Yes.
It's going to be very hard to do that. I mean, you are really working with secondary school, primary school?
Yeah. Mainly secondary school. I'm not good with primary school. JCs and poly.
Yeah, and was it difficult for you to change the mindset? Because it's 10 years of the same.
Yeah. So if you look back at the game just now, right? Most of you wasn't following the strategy, isn't it? Because you are so habitual on doing things in a certain manner. That's why I have to put a lot of effort to say, okay, you're going to split you into small group. Do the discussion in your small group. Then come back to the big group. So in terms of instructional skills, the person who are running this need to know what to do. You cannot assume that I flash this slide to you, okay, everybody know, let's move on. Just move on. That's why you realize when you were playing, even I need to stop you, right? You're all like, you know, that kind of thing. And it's going to happen because their habits is running, right? Part of it is for you to help them to understand the value of this and work with them on it. So it's not going to happen in one day. Like what I tell you, assumption part, we took about 2 to 3 days. I think it was the 3rd day when we bring them to Orchard Road. They're supposed to navigate around Orchard Road. We tell them this is the problem. They went to ask people for information and so on and so forth. So it takes time to intervene because it's the old habits that you may need to change. This making sense? Yeah, so it cannot work overnight. It takes a while. Yes.
Do you want to like tell them your this method first out front before you start teaching them the method? You want to tell them this?
Yes, because it's a skill building. Alright, a lot of experiential educators always say no front loading. Front loading is bad. Don't front load, right? You front load, you filter the experience. However, this is skill building. If you're going to learn badminton, right? One way I can do badminton racket, go and play. Then you figure out the skill yourself, then I won't get paid as a coach, right? But as a coach, I will tell you this is how I want you to practice. Alright, now go up and practice. So I will typically do a front loading so that they understand this idea and I will guide them through step by step first. Probably a few rounds. After that, I will start to say, okay, go and see whether they can do it or not. So there's formative assessment on the way as I observe what the kids are doing. Okay? Alright, thank you. Any other question? Alright, if not, I want to give you an opportunity to try design what we call this kind of meta model. And one of the best areas is actually evaluating. Because when we teach the students if they are going for depth, at the information part, we teach them a mental model. How do you get information? How do you go about asking questions to get information? At the Dreamer Hub, we teach them different brainstorming techniques. So you realize that if you have this, right, each one of these can be a separate lesson. Make sense? And you can teach different strategies. Okay, so right now, between the colleagues that you come with, between information, dream up, and evaluate, right? Think of one cognitive strategy that you think you can teach your students. Alright? And then list down the steps so that you know exactly how you're going to implement it. Okay? Right, we will just take about 2 to 3 minutes for this so that this is not like something very difficult. You can do it by yourself actually. Okay? Take about 2 to 3 minutes with the person you come. Focus on the evaluate part. Okay? Or if you prefer the information, go ahead and do it. Okay? Alright, got 2 to 3 minutes. Alright, let's go.
Where it starts to get visualized and it's just
You guys are leaving? Can I trouble you to write a few notes?
We have worked with him before, so
Ah,
you have one
okay.
page there, is it?
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
We have markers, you don't, right?
Marker? No, I just have pencils. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Making connections between cognitive biology 101
Alright, pause for a moment. Before I proceed to the next part, I just want to know any questions on this part. This is more like skill, meaning I'm using the cognitive strategies to build skills. Okay, later on I'm going to use cognitive strategies to build character. I'm going to show another model that you can use. But before I go there, anything you want to clarify or you're not sure of, anything at all? We good? So I would really love to see your implement in the classroom. Yeah, because at the end of the day, right, whatever we do, we really want the students to be able to do it. Yeah. So some of the implementation challenges you will have is the student won't stop. They want to rush through. Part of your job is stop, slow down, do this step first. Don't go anywhere, just do this step, right? Then after a while, they will get better. And then the next step you probably want to do is see whether they can do this step without your presence, without you intervening them. Then the next phase, normally what we do, then we'll deepen each of this. If there's enough time given to us, then we'll teach them different way of looking back. How do you go about evaluating what you have done? What are the questions you can ask? What are the strategies you can use? Be good?